Building mental strength is far easier than you think, far easier than you realise. Unfortunately, in the modern world, so many people are weak and feel weak. I encounter this a lot. I used to be that guy on the left. Now, I'm not sure about YouTube guidelines. I'm not sure how that works and what I can talk about in regards to the lifestyle that he was living. But I think you can gather without me going into too much detail what that guy on the left was getting up to, especially that guy in the middle. You can imagine the substances that man was doing. But that represents a very weak man. No willpower, no resilience, no discipline, awful self-talk, awful lifestyle, terrible headspace, terrible perception of self, no confidence, quiet, shy voice, avoiding social occasions, fear of speaking in a social setting. That was me. The guy I am now, here, and these pictures, it's far different from this man, and this position or this point in my life caused this because I decided enough was enough. I was fed up of fucking living that way, and like more the headspace than the lifestyle. I hated the lifestyle too, but like what it was doing to me inside and how I felt and how weak I felt. I knew that wasn't how I was meant to feel. That's not how humans are meant to feel. And unfortunately, in the modern world, it's all too common that people feel fucking weak. This guy on the right, that's a 100-mile race. That was just a gym shot. The physique, sub-3 marathon debut in Rome, which was in March this year. I've also done a 50-mile ultra, which was the first ultra I did. A Ironman 70.3 and a High Rocks recently as well. And I'm going to tell you exactly why building mental strength is easier than you think, because I'm speaking to you, not you're speaking to because you're watching a video. I'm speaking to you as someone who has done that, someone who's come from no discipline, no willpower, no resilience at all, to being very strong mentally. The modern world is full of traps. I talk about dopamine depletion all the time. You will see it as a common theme in most of my YouTube videos. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll also hear me talk about it on there. We are depleted of a key hormone, which is dopamine. Dopamine has got humans to the point that we're at now. We are the most advanced species on Earth. That's because of dopamine. Not only, obviously, but it's a key driver in humans and moving forward. It plays a big part in the reward and motivation system, and we need that for all tasks. The problem is the modern world, with phones and social media and all sorts, fast food, ultra processed food, vaping, gambling, we're depleted of dopamine. It leaves us with nothing left for the things that really matter. And that's why people feel so flat and so empty. Poor standards across the board. It's never been easier to stand out. My dad always says to me, he still says it now, especially when I was younger and growing up, it's so easy to stand out in your generation because they're all fucking lazy. And he's right. Everyone is lazy, and it's because that majority thinking mentality. If everyone thinks it, everyone is it. People allow themselves and the people they surround themselves with to operate to a very fucking low standard. Very low. And when everyone's doing that, you don't always identify that you have very poor standards, but it's common across the board. This guy had very low standards, no willpower whatsoever. Infinite information is another one I don't see people talking about, but I know for a fact this leaves people feeling weak, and it links into that last point, so I'll cover it there. But we live in a culture of comfort and instant gratification. We can get everything on fucking demand. There's barely any friction, and that just wears away at you, and you don't even realize that, right? It's like Amazon. What a brilliant invention. I use Amazon all the time. But that's fucking nuts, you know? You can just order something, it's at your door next day. If you order something early enough, it's just at your door on the same day. There's no barrier between like pretty much anything. You can get anything you want in an instant. That is not a good thing. It's a good thing, but it's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Like it's a great benefit of the modern world that we can have access to that, but if you're not aware of it and you're not doing things to counter all of these smaller negatively impactful, you know, traps, then you will fall victim to it. And a lack of direction, analysis by paralysis, it fits perfectly into this. Infinite information. There is so much information out there in the world right now that humans have never had access to before. News, radio, social media, like you know everything about the world, or you can know everything about the world at all times instantly. We're not built for that. We don't have the mental bandwidth for that. It causes analysis by paralysis, where there's so many things to focus on and so many avenues that you could go down in life, you just freeze up. I don't know what to do. There's just fucking too many options. Think about this. The easiest way to understand this and how bad this is, the infinite information trap. You know when you go to a restaurant and they've got one page, 4 starters, 4 main courses, 2 desserts. It takes you maybe 2 or 3 minutes to decide what you're going to have. If you go to one of those restaurants, sometimes it happens abroad, right, where they give you a menu, it's like 20 pages long, and there's fucking like 20 things on each page. It's like, you know, 15 minutes looking at the menu, the guy comes over, I need 5 more minutes, mate. I have no idea what I'm going to choose. It's the same thing, like too many options and too many channels to focus on causes a lack of direction for a lot of people. A lot of people are not clear on where they're going. Now here's a concept. Your life is full of cogs. These cogs are different in size, but they are equal in importance. Just think about that. Just remember that as we move forward in these slides. Different sizes, but equal importance. So you've got your big cogs. I'm going to refer to the conscious and the subconscious mind as well as I go through this. I'll explain that in a second. The big cogs are the things that you actively participate in and you're conscious that they're happening. So routine, daily routine, training, nutrition, goals. Obviously, everything's always tied back to fitness, guys. Training, massive cog in the machine. Training and nutrition are the biggest cogs in the machine that people perceive when it comes to fitness alone. Routine and goals also play into fitness, but all of these just play into life. These are the big cogs. Now, the conscious versus the subconscious mind, the easiest way to describe this, to understand it if you're not familiar with this, RAM versus storage on a computer. So RAM is random access memory. My MacBook over here has 16 gig RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage. On this laptop here, I've got hundreds of videos, 4K footage, big files, loads of documents, loads of software, loads of photos, everything just stored on there. 512 gig of storage. But it's only got 16 gig of RAM, random access memory. If I open too many softwares at the same time, all of a sudden the laptop panics, it freezes, it slows down. You get that little swirly mouse. It's like, I can't, that's too much. You've opened too much here. You need to close some fucking tabs down because I can't do my job. So you've closed some things down. Okay, cool, I can do this now. It happens when I'm editing videos, for example, right? I've had to upgrade to this MacBook, the Pro, because I had an Air before. And when I was trying to edit video, it was just like, constantly freezing. I couldn't even do it. Conscious and subconscious mind is basically that. So the conscious mind is me now talking, looking at the camera, reading this slide, talking about the slide, moving my hands. The subconscious is working in the background. So it stores names, places, faces, skills, memories, everything, basically. That's why you can remember a holiday that you had 20 years ago. You can remember the exact meal you had when you were sat on the beachfront, and you remember the name of the waiter. It just all gets stored in there. You're not really actively thinking about that, but it's imprinted in the subconscious mind. So you've got the conscious, subconscious mind. These are more conscious, okay? Big cogs, conscious. Then you've got the small cogs. Now this is where most people go wrong. I'm going to tie this back to strong mindset in a minute. These are more subconscious. Yes, you actively participate in them. Okay, so you are using your conscious mind when you do these things, but you're not completely aware of them all of the time. That's the key part of this. So, your self-talk, how you talk to yourself, how you perceive yourself, your habits, how clean your house is, beliefs that you hold or limiting beliefs, alignment, the clothes you wear, reflection, people don't even do some of these, but reflection, sleep, hygiene, personal hygiene, vice control. Yes, you actively participate in each of these, but it has a subconscious impact at a deeper level, right? And that's where, what builds or destroys your image of self. So, common example is people get into the gym, right? They focus on those big cogs there, routine training, nutrition, and what they're working towards. And they don't feel like it's going so well. They don't really feel like, I don't really feel like I'm getting anywhere. Maybe they even make a bit of progress and they're like, yeah, but I don't really feel that great. And what they're doing is basically ignoring all the small cogs. All of the small cogs, remember, are equal in importance, but they give no thought or attention to it at all. How you talk to yourself, the habits that you follow on a daily basis, how clean your house is, how clean your desk is, how clean your room is, right? I can't work in here and get solid, impactful work done on my business if my room is a shit tip. I have to keep this in order. Alignment, I talked about in another video, I won't go into that. The clothes you wear, right? If you're wearing tatty fucking clothes with holes in, you might not even think about it, but you will feel shit. You're not going to feel good about yourself. Sleep, obviously, that is a big cog as well, but another subconscious impact that has, right? Where it's like, if you know you should be in bed at X time and getting up at X time, and you snooze the alarm 3 times in the morning, you're starting the day out, even if you don't think it, telling your subconscious mind that, yeah, I'm failing already. That is exactly how this works. Hygiene. I sit here, you might laugh at this. This is how seriously I take this. I'm going to sit here behind my desk pretty much all day and just crack work out today. I've got nice clothes on and I've put aftershave on. I'm not going to see anyone. It's just to build that image of myself that, yeah, I've got everything in check, right? Vice control. Don't cave to vices. Doom scrolling, porn, masturbating, vaping, gambling, drugs, alcohol. There's damage in the thing, but there's damage in always losing that battle mentally, because it's like, if you can't stick to your word on the most basic level, when you're then thinking about a bigger goal, how are you ever going to achieve that? You don't even believe you can achieve that, because on such a small level, the smaller cogs, all of these, you're not tightening them up because you don't think they're as important. Physical challenge is the foundation. You cannot wish away a weak mind. You need proof. So when we look at this guy, I got to the point where I got really fucking low, like dangerously low. I'll leave it at that. In this period of my life, and I decided, I was like, I'm not fucking standing for this. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. I need to start making some steps in the right direction. And I was already into the gym, but I was like, right, I'm taking that up a fucking level. and I probably trained for like a year before I then went. I trained properly for a year, guys. There's a big difference. I've been gym for 3 or 4 years before this. I mean, training properly. Big difference. Just going to the gym doesn't mean you train properly. Doesn't mean you have structure. So I really took it serious for a year. Then I ended up signing up to Ironman 70.3 after that, and that set off a chain of events for me. Training is a staple. It's daily discipline. Now, as someone who's done all these events, I will tell you right now that going to the gym, whatever you do, lifting weights, I don't care how heavy you're squatting, how heavy you're deadlifting, it's nowhere near as hard as doing like a big event. It isn't. But it's the fact you're doing it on a daily basis. It's difficult to lift weights. That's the point, right? Resistance training. Literally resistance. It's hard. You do that over and over and over and over and over again. You're going to benefit from that physically because you're going to look like a fucking G over time. You're going to look like a savage. You're going to enjoy how you look a lot more. Your positive self-talk will increase. But it's also just doing it every day. You're not going to want to turn up every single day, and you'll just do it anyway. Training is a staple. Anyone that doesn't train is an idiot. You know, the fact we can get stronger and bigger and fitter and more efficient is enough reason to do it. It's clearly a part of why we are the way we are. You know, it exists for that reason. Sign up for an event of some sort, even if you don't have any interest in it. This will help you. I take that back. This will make you destroy any limiting beliefs that still exist. You operate with limiting beliefs right now. Every single person does. I do, right? But you've got to they're not always obvious because they just blend in, they're familiar. You've got to do some reflection. You've got to think about your mind to identify limiting beliefs. And physical challenge is a great way to redefine how you think about it in your head. So when I did a 10k in like year 11 with my brother in Manchester, and I can remember finishing that, and I played football all my life, I've always been fit. I remember finishing that 10k going, fuck that. How on earth do people run half marathons? You know, I didn't even know what ultra marathons were at that point. They certainly weren't as popular as they are today. And you put a limit on what you can do. When I ran 50 miles, I remember I almost quit in that race. And I didn't. I got through it, finished it, and I was like, fuck me. For like a couple days, I was like, I can't believe I've done that. I've completely exceeded all expectations of myself and what I thought was possible. Day 3, day 4, I'm thinking, well, what can I do now? I've just completely broke all of my previous limit, the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling isn't even fucking there anymore. It hasn't moved up. It's just gone. 100 miles. Why not? Why can't I? Now, I'm not saying you have to go and do that. But if you've never run, go do a fucking 5k. Because then you'll go, right, okay, I've done that. I didn't think I could do that. I've done it. Go do a 10k. Year ago, wow, I never thought I could do this. I've just done it. What's next? Now, I'm not saying you have to just always do these events. I'm not saying you have to do running events. Do a high rocks, do a triathlon, do a fucking Tough Mudder. Do something that you don't think you can do, and do it with the one purpose of showing yourself that actually these things that I don't think I can do, I can fucking do. And it's me that's limiting myself. Physical challenge is the easiest way to do it. You cannot wish away a weak mind. You need proof. If you feel very, very weak, you can't just stand in the mirror and fucking scream and shout at yourself that you're strong and all this, because you don't believe it. It's conscious and subconscious. You'll be shouting in the mirror saying, I'm strong. I've got a fucking savage mindset. Da, 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 da. Subconsciously, you won't even process this, but you'll go, well, I can't even fucking turn up to the gym 3 times a week. I snooze my alarm every morning. I don't even have a routine. You know, it doesn't work like that. That's misalignment, and that's why I talk about alignment. There's a Japanese phrase, misogi. And the idea with this is doing something once a year that's so hard that it basically just defines that year, right? That's a great practice. You can think of that. If you don't want to do event after event after event, every year, do something that is fucking hard that you don't think you can do. Every year, you will move forward at a far quicker rate in all realms of life, because this bleeds over, guys. Like when you destroy the limiting belief of me running 50 miles and I didn't think I could do that, and then I go and do it and I cross the finish line, and the week after I'm thinking, right, okay, yeah, I'm going to do a 100-mile race, but I'm also thinking, well, that thing that I want to do in my business, when I've been telling myself, no, I can't do that, that's other people can do that, I can't. Why can't I do it? I've just done a physical challenge that's much fucking harder than this. It changes everything. So physical challenge is the foundation. Find a tribe. We are pack animals. That's how we're designed to work. And in a world of weakness and low standards, surround yourself with people who are getting after it. It doesn't matter where you are now, right? Don't worry about what the tribe is doing relative to you. You just need to get involved in that. So I've got clients right now. I've got 2 clients who are doing ultra marathons this summer. One of them's running 100 kilometers, his first ultra. I've also got a client that signed up to a 10k who's never run a 10k. They both get the exact same attention and same enthusiasm, because it's not about the thing, like it's not black and white, like, oh, who's gonna do the biggest event. You're the most savage and you're down, you're further down the pack. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. You've never run a 10k and you want to run a 10k, that's fucking savage, let's do it. Everyone else fucking has that same mindset, right? Good on you, mate, that's class. You only started running like 3 weeks ago and you're already up to 20k weekly mileage. That's fucking mint, mate. Keep going. That's where I was a year ago. That's how it works. You've got to surround yourself with people who are on the same journey as you. Better, not best. This is something I use. Again, a framework or something to like think about, a perspective. And you can apply this to yourself right now if you are someone who does feel weak. Better, not best. Don't try and be the best. Don't look at what other people are doing on social media, running the length of Africa and running the length of Australia and all this fucking mad shit. That's great. Like, we need that in society, because those people are redefining limits and they're showing people what's possible. But don't compare yourself to that and go, well, I'm a fucking loser, then I can't do that. I can't do anything, anywhere near that. You just need to try and be a better version of you, not the best. Don't try and go like 0 to fucking 1,000. Just go 0 to 20. When you get to 20, 20 to 40. When you get to 40, 40 to 60. So on and so forth. You just never, ever stop. Or come and join my team, Team FP, Functional Physiques. We've got a tribe. This is what we're building. We're building a community. Like-minded individuals who are all on the same mission. Now, we're mostly targeting men, but you can see here, Georgia down here. We've got some ladies on the program too. It's not men only. It's just the marketing is more targeted towards men. But yeah, all varieties of disciplines and goals, ages. Paul down here, 60 years old, ran a 10k with him a couple months ago, down in Derbyshire in Peak District. First time he's run an event in like 30 years, 40 years. At 60 years old, just decided to try and be better. Class. Me and Charlie at Rome Marathon, that was his, that was both of our first marathons. High Rocks with Joe. Got lads who are just physique focused. Got guys doing ultras. Alfie is prepping for, or will be prepping for an Ironman soon. Joe is actually prepping for an Ironman right now. There's people who don't even have events. We've got loads of clients now that are just physique focused and also enjoyment focused. You know, you don't have to worry about, right, yeah, you've joined Team FP, mate, you're going to have to pick an event that's fucking absolutely fucked. You need to go and run 48 hours through the Scottish Highlands. Not like that, man. Just come and get involved. And I always say this, look, I just want to make the world a better place. If you see another coach, you might watch my content, but there's another coach that you watch and you like what he does more than what I do, go and fucking invest in him. Go and join his tribe. Go and surround yourself with all those people. You must have a tribe. Thanks for watching. Go build a strong fucking mindset. You've got the blueprint. You know how it works. Find a tribe. Conscious and subconscious. Big and small cogs. And just get after it. Constant progression in this life.